You can lose a Telegram account without anyone ever hacking it. No password stolen, no scam link tapped, no attack at all. Just silence. Telegram quietly deletes accounts that go inactive for long enough on a timer most people have never looked at, and carriers recycle the numbers behind those accounts and hand them to someone new. So there are two slow, silent ways an account you care about can simply disappear, and both are completely preventable once you know they exist. Let me walk through how an account dies of neglect and how to make sure yours never does. I run managed Telegram hosting on dedicated hardware here in Singapore, and keeping accounts continuously online with their numbers alive and paid is literally the job. So I have watched both failure modes up close, the account that self-deletes because nothing kept it awake, and the number that lapses and gets reassigned out from under it. Neither is dramatic, and neither sends a warning you will notice. They happen in the background while you assume the account is safely where you left it. Here is the plan how Telegram's inactivity deletion works and the default window probably set on your account right now. What actually counts as activity and resets the clock, because it is not what most people think. What gets destroyed when the timer fires. Then the second killer, number recycling. Why a two-factor password is the wall that saves you when the number changes hands. And the short list of fixes that lock all of it down. Finally, to forget it, the timer, because it surprises almost everyone. Telegram has a built-in self-destruct. If your account does not connect to Telegram for a set period, it deletes itself automatically, along with everything in it. This is not a bug and not a punishment. It is a deliberate privacy feature, so that accounts people abandon do not sit around forever holding messages and a phone number. The problem is that a feature built for accounts you meant to abandon works exactly the same on one you simply did not touch for a while. Now the number that matters, the length of that window. By default, it is 6 months. You change it under Settings in Privacy and Security in an option that reads something like Delete my account if away for. The choices are 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Most people have never opened this screen, so most accounts sit on the 6-month default. 6 months of no connection at all and the account is gone. For the phone you carry everywhere, that clock never gets close. For anything else, it is nearer than you would guess. So what resets the clock? Because this is where the misunderstanding lives. It is not you typing or reading, it is the account connecting to Telegram at all, from any device. If you are logged in on a phone you use, that phone checks in with Telegram constantly in the background, and every check-in resets the timer to 0. As long as the account is logged in somewhere that stays online, the clock never runs down. The real danger is the account that is not logged in anywhere, because then nothing is checking in and the timer counts all the way down. That is the trap that catches people. You set up a second account or a backup, use it for a bit, then log out of it on every device to keep your phone tidy. From that moment, nothing is keeping it alive. No phone is checking in for it, so the 6-month timer starts counting in earnest, and 6 months later, the account you thought was safely parked is deleted. You just removed the last thing keeping it breathing, and the self-destruct did precisely what it was designed to do. And when it fires, it is total. This is a full deletion, not a suspension you can appeal. Your messages are gone, your contacts are gone, your username is released back into the pool for anyone to take. Your memberships in groups and channels vanish, and any channel you alone owned can be left orphaned. It's people stranded with no one holding the keys. There is nothing to recover, because from Telegram's side, you chose this by going quiet. The stakes are the entire account and everything attached to it. Now the second silent killer, from a completely different direction, and that is number recycling. Every Telegram account is tied to a phone number, and that number is not really yours forever. It belongs to your carrier, and carriers reclaim numbers that go unused. If you stop paying for a line, or a prepaid SIM lapses, the carrier takes the number back and eventually hands it to a new customer. That is normal telecom housekeeping. It becomes your problem because your Telegram identity is still pinned to a number no longer under your control. Here is why that is dangerous. Logging into Telegram starts with your phone number and a code sent to it by SMS. That is the front door. Now imagine your account still exists on an old number that has been recycled to a stranger. That stranger receives any login code sent to it, because the SMS lands on their phone, not yours. So someone who has never met you, simply by being handed a recycled SIM, holds the front door key to an account that used to be yours. They did not hack anything. The phone company gave them the number, and the number was the key. This is exactly where a two-factor password earns its place, because it is the wall behind the front door. When you set a two-factor password, logging in on a new device needs that password in addition to the SMS code. So even if a recycled number delivers a login code to a stranger, they hit the password wall and stop, because they have the number but not the secret behind it. Without it, the number is the entire account. With it, the number is only half. If you have not set one up carefully, do that first. Put the two together and you get the genuine worst case. An account you are not logged into anywhere on a number you have let lapse with no two-factor password behind it. That account runs down its deletion timer from one side while its number drifts towards a stranger on the other, and you find out about neither until you try to log back in and the account is either gone or already answering to someone else. Months of silence, and then it is simply not yours anymore. Limit. So which accounts are actually in danger? Because it is not the phone in your pocket. Your daily account is checking in constantly and is in no danger from the timer at all. The ones at risk are precisely the accounts you touch least. A backup account you keep just in case. A business account somebody set up and stopped opening. A second identity you maintain for one narrow purpose. These are the accounts you would most hate to lose, and they are exactly the ones the timer and the number risk are quietly working on. So here are the fixes, all straightforward once you know to do them. First, open that inactivity setting and choose the window on purpose, instead of leaving a default you never saw. If an account is one you touch rarely but want to keep, set it to the longest option, 1 year, so a few quiet months can never erase it. If it is one you genuinely want gone if you walk away, a shorter window is fine. The point is to decide it deliberately, matched to how you use that account. Second, the window only buys time, so the account still has to connect before that time runs out. For an account you rarely open, give it a real heartbeat instead of hoping you remember. The cleanest version is to keep it logged in on a device that stays online, so it checks in on its own and the timer never gets near zero. The low-tech version is a recurring reminder to open it every so often, well inside whatever window you set. Either way, the account has to connect on some rhythm, or a generous window still ends in deletion just later. Third, protect the number itself, because it is the account's true identity. Keep the line active and paid so the carrier has no reason to reclaim and recycle it, especially a prepaid SIM that can lapse quietly if you forget to top it up. And set a two-factor password so that even if a number does change hands, the account cannot be reclaimed by whoever ends up with a SIM. Treat losing control of the number as seriously as losing a password, because in Telegram's login flow, the number nearly is the password unless you have put something behind it. Fourth, if you run channels or groups that matter, do not let them hang from a single account. Add a trusted second owner or admin with full rights so the community survives even if your personal account lapses or gets deleted. A channel tied to exactly one account, when that account self-destructs on the timer, can leave everyone in it stranded with no one able to post or manage it. A second owner with real rights is cheap insurance against a private account problem becoming a public one. Step back and it comes down to one shift in how you think. A Telegram account is not permanent by default. It is a living thing that needs a heartbeat, a connection now and then, and a number that stays genuinely yours. Give it those and it persists indefinitely, with no drama. Neglect all of it, leave it logged out, on a lapsing number, with no password behind it, and it can vanish with no warning and no undo. I will be clear about scope, because it matters. Everything here is about keeping your own legitimate account alive and in your own hands, an ordinary user, a business, a backup you do not want to lose. It is not about going after somebody else's recycled number to take over an account that was theirs, which is the exact inverse of the point and precisely the abuse that two-factor passwords exist to stop. The honest use, a person making sure their own account and number stay theirs, is the use this advice serves. And here is the honest catch. Keeping an account continuously connected, the SIM paid and active, the number never allowed to lapse, a two-factor password in place, and important channels backed by a second owner is steady, ongoing, easy to forget work. It gets harder the more accounts you keep alive at once, and worst of all, the accounts most likely to slip through the cracks are the very ones you touch least. That quiet maintenance is exactly what managed hosting is built to carry. Telegram Vault is managed Telegram hosting on dedicated Singapore hardware, real handsets on real carrier SIMs from Singtel, M1, StarHub, and Vivify. So the account stays continuously online and checking in, which means the inactivity timer never runs down, and the number stays alive on a paid active SIM that does not lapse and does not get recycled out from under you. The heartbeat and the number, the two things that keep an account from silently dying, are simply handled. If that is what you need, start at telegramvault.org. Onboarding begins with a real conversation about your setup, not a checkout page, and the code TGYT gets you a discount when you start. If this made you go check the inactivity setting on an account you had half forgotten, that is the whole point, so go do it now while you are thinking about it. And subscribe, because there is a lot more on keeping Telegram accounts alive, safe, and in your own hands coming on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.